On May 12, 2000, the body of one of Iraq's most senior archaeologists was found near Al-Qurnah, where the Tigris meets the Euphrates, the place long claimed as the biblical Garden of Eden. Blunt force trauma. Case closed without explanation. He had been excavating there for months. The rumor that followed has never been verified or disproven that he was killed for what he unearthed. Dr. Mansour. Al-Khalidi's life ended in the early hours of May 12, 2000. The official police log from Basra, case number 2004-532, describes an unidentified male found on the southern edge of the Al-Qurnah marshes. The body showed clear signs of blunt force trauma to the head. Identification took 2 weeks, confirmed by the Special Crimes Unit as Dr. Al-Khalidi, a senior archaeologist with the Ministry of Antiquities. The file notes no arrest, no named suspect, and no weapon recovered. The investigation closed on July 15, 2000, citing a lack of actionable leads. The Basra Provincial Health Authority's autopsy, referenced in a ministry memo, lists the cause of death as massive intracranial hemorrhage. 2 shallow cuts on the forearms, described as defensive wounds, suggest an attempt to ward off an attack. Time of death was estimated between midnight and 4 a.m., hours before the body was discovered by fishermen. Both witnesses, identified only as Ali and Hussein, gave statements about hearing a single gunshot and seeing a body dragged onto the bank. Later, both men retracted parts of their stories under pressure from unnamed officials. No photographs from the scene, no public forensic images, and no official press release have surfaced. The ministry's own internal memo called the death suspicious and requested an independent review, but the request was never answered. The file remains closed, the evidence locked in a provincial archive. The only certainty is a violent death, a closed case, and a trail of missing answers. At 31 degrees 0 minutes 57 seconds north, 47 degrees 25 minutes 50 seconds east, the land splits and the water merges. Here, the Tigris and Euphrates collide in a tangle of currents to form the Shat al-Arab, a river that runs southeast toward the Persian Gulf. The geography alone has fueled centuries of speculation. Ancient texts describe a garden at the source of 4 rivers, 2 of them matching the names that still flow across southern Iraq. The rest is hidden beneath silt, marsh, and shifting political lines. This area, known as Al-Qurnah, draws pilgrims and tourists to a stand of trees claimed as the biblical tree of knowledge. The current version, a stylized sculpture installed in 2004, stands as both a tourist attraction and a symbol of the region's mythic pull. But the real fascination lies in the landscape itself. Vast reed beds stretch across the confluence, fed by a freshwater basin that has supported human settlement for millennia. The marshes once formed a near inland sea, rich with fish and bird life, before decades of drainage and war shrank them to a fraction of their former size. Professor Elias Rashid, a historical geographer at the University of Basra, layered satellite data and old survey maps to reconstruct what the region looked like thousands of years ago. His GIS overlays reveal ghostly traces of paleo channels, ancient riverbeds that once braided through the plain, now buried beneath mud and modern irrigation. These findings echo the hypothesis of Uris Zarins, who argued that the original 4 rivers of Genesis may have been real waterways, their courses erased by post-Ice Age sea level rise and sedimentation. Some of these channels, mapped by synthetic aperture radar, point toward a vanished distributary now lost under the shallow waters of the Persian Gulf. Al-Qurnah's landscape offers a rare convergence: geography that fits a sacred story, and a physical environment that invites both scientific inquiry and religious imagination. The allure is not just the possibility of Eden, but the way the land itself keeps secrets, its rivers shifting, its channels vanishing, and its boundaries always in flux. South of the marshes, the ancient mounds of Eridu, Ur, and Uruk rise from the flat plain, each layered with secrets that have drawn generations of archaeologists. At Eridu, excavators uncovered the Temple of Enki, a structure built and rebuilt over centuries on a platform of water-soaked clay. Its oldest bricks date back to the Ubaid period, around 5400 BC. Yet the site's own myths speak of a city springing fully formed from the primordial sea. The archaeological record, though, tells a slower story. Temples stacked atop older ruins, water channels cut and recut, the city growing gradually out of the mud. The gap between legend and evidence leaves a space where questions multiply. Not far upstream, yielded hundreds of cuneiform tablets from royal tombs. Some recount a flood sent by the gods, a survivor building a boat, a world remade by catastrophe. These stories echo through the Genesis narrative, but the details never quite align. The Sumerian flood hero is Ziusudra, not Noah. The cause of the deluge shifts from divine anger to cosmic accident. Each tablet adds to the sense of a shared memory, but none resolves the puzzle. Uruk offers another kind of mystery. Behind its massive walls, the largest of the ancient world, archaeologists found the earliest writing and evidence of a city that expanded rapidly toward the delta. The Eanna Temple complex, dedicated to Inanna, sits at the heart of a settlement that blurred the line between cultivated garden and urban sprawl. Yet for all its records, no inscription points directly to Eden. Instead, the city's planners seem to draw inspiration from the waterways themselves, building canals and gardens that mirrored the landscape beyond the walls. In Dr. Hussein's field notes, a water-rich mound stands out, a patch of ground saturated long after the surrounding fields dried. He flagged it as unusual, but the records trail off. The pattern repeats. Discoveries that almost fit the myth, inconsistencies that resist easy answers, and a lingering sense that something important remains just beneath the surface. Archaeology in Iraq at the turn of the millennium did not unfold in a vacuum. Every excavation, every permit, ran through a gauntlet of political oversight shaped by Saddam Hussein's regime. The Ministry of Antiquities, once a haven for scholarship, was drawn directly into the orbit of state power after a 1998 decree. Fieldwork required more than academic credentials, researchers needed security clearance, and every dig permit was stamped by the Ministry of Defense. Archaeologists became accustomed to working under the gaze of plainclothes officers, with site access contingent on loyalty as much as expertise. Saddam's government poured money into heritage projects, but always with a purpose. The Babylon reconstruction, a $300 million endeavor, transformed ruins into a stage for nationalist spectacle. Walls were rebuilt in modern brick, inscribed with Saddam's own name alongside Nebuchadnezzar's. Official tours highlighted Iraq's ancient glory, but findings that strayed into sensitive territory, biblical connections, pre-Islamic rituals, or evidence that contradicted official narratives were quietly suppressed. Publications underwent heavy censorship. Foreign collaborators were screened and sometimes denied entry. Even internal reports could be seized or redacted without warning. Dr. Hussein, a veteran field director, once recounted being ordered to halt a promising excavation near Ur after a visiting dignitary questioned its relevance to the state's preferred story. He described the moment as a reminder that archaeology, in this climate, was never just about the past. Every new find carried risks of offending religious authorities, of challenging the regime's myth-making, or of drawing the attention of those who saw ancient heritage as a tool for power. In this environment, the line between scholarly discovery and personal danger could vanish overnight. The legend of archaeologists dying for forbidden knowledge is not confined to Iraq. In 2015, Khalid al-Assad, an 82-year-old scholar, was executed in Palmyra after refusing to reveal the location of hidden antiquities. His death sent shockwaves through the global heritage community. Years earlier, in 1997, an entire Iraqi field team vanished while surveying a Sumerian mound near the southern marshes. Their disappearance was never solved. No bodies, no ransom, just a line in a ministry report and a surge of rumors about a cursed site. Stories like these circulate among archaeologists as whispered warnings, work too close to mythic ground, and you risk more than academic controversy. Each unexplained death or vanishing adds another layer to the belief that some discoveries are dangerous, that the past can still claim the living. The pattern is unmistakable, even when the facts are thin. Security in southern Iraq unraveled after the late 1990s, with armed militia groups and antiquities traffickers competing for control of the marshlands. The profits from smuggling Sumerian tablets and cylinder seals surged as international demand grew, and archaeologists working near Al-Qurnah faced real risks, often unrelated to any mythic discovery. Satellite surveys, including synthetic aperture radar, scanned the region for signs of a hidden garden or ancient settlement matching Genesis. The verdict was blunt. No distinct Garden of Eden has ever been detected in the marshes or beneath the Gulf. Colonel Mahmoud, a former security liaison, once remarked, "Most violence here is about money or power, not secrets in the ground." The files on Dr. al-Khalidi's death remain locked, the evidence inconclusive. The story ends with an open question. Was there ever more than rumor and uncertainty, or did the legend simply fill a silence left by missing facts? Today, the line between fact and legend blurs where power, faith, and buried history converge. In Iraq, every new excavation risks igniting ancient disputes or inspiring new myths. The real danger isn't what's unearthed, but how uncertainty becomes a weapon. What secrets still wait in the ground?